Last night, October 30th, 2017, the Anti-Defamation League presented awards to 4 extraordinary people who stood up to acts of hate. The dinner award ceremony was held at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. The Kay Family Awards were presented by Ina and Jack Kay's granddaughter, Julie Michelina. The first recipient was Ann Jaffe, a Holocaust survivor and educator.
I was lucky because I was liberated in 1944. The war went on till 1945, so I was under the Nazi occupation only for 3 years. I was also very lucky that one of the few that survived with my parents. And the reason why I feel that this was an extraordinary luck is because after the war, we found out about the concentration camps. We found out how many Jewish people were perished in that period of time. And so I was filled with anger and hatred at that time. My father overheard me say that I hate all those people who could have helped us and did nothing to do so. So he told me we were victims of persecution and hatred. Did you like it? And I told him no. So he says, if you didn't like when others hated you, why would you hate others? You will destroy yourself if you continue hating. You have to change your life. You have to have a different approach. You have to teach people kindness and tolerance and caring for others. And you will be a much better person, and they will learn from you instead of spreading hatred. And so I followed his example, and I think it did very well for me. Today, I must say, there isn't a person in the world that I really hate. I might dislike some people, but I really don't hate them.
The second person to be honored with a Kay Family Award was Gavin Grimm. Gavin Grimm is a 19-year-old Virginia resident and a national advocate for transgender rights. He currently has an open federal civil rights lawsuit against the Gloucester County School District over the right to use the bathroom of his choice.
And championed for civil rights for much, much longer than I have been alive.
I'm incredibly motivated to go to school. That's something that I want to do as soon as possible, so I'm working towards that. And meanwhile, this case is still ongoing. I'm still a client of the ACLU, and I will be for the foreseeable future. And so that's a big part of my life and will continue to be a big part of my life until we have a resolution.
The third recipient to be honored with a Kay Family Award was Tolu Olubumi. Tolu is a DC-based dreamer and an advocate for immigrants.
I've worked on this issue for many years. I'm a dreamer myself, and DACA for us was a very hard-fought victory. It was an imperfect victory, but a victory nonetheless. And the truly troubling part, ending the program is one thing, but the truly troubling part is the fear that was instilled within the communities that trusted our government, the young people that gave all of their personal details and that of their families, the jobs they've lived in, the places they've lived, the jobs they've had and the places they've lived in to the government with the trust that that information would not be used against them. And now there is so much fear within the community about, one, will mothers be separated from their documented daughters? Is that something we should really be facing at this point? I think that's unhealthy for us and for our communities. Documented youth are in school, they're working, they're a huge part of our community and our nation, and are contributing contributing not just socially, but also economically. And it's going to be a loss for us.
The final person to be honored with a Kay Family Award was LaGrange, Georgia Police Chief and President of the International Association of Chiefs of Police, Louis Dekmar.
Mother Teresa received the Nobel Peace Prize. Her efforts in Calcutta were recognized throughout the world and donations increased. A reporter from London, I believe an atheist at the time, was suspicious about what Mother Teresa was doing with that money. Journalism hasn't changed much. So he went to Calcutta to interview her, and as he was going up to the administrative offices, he was accosted by a beggar. He shooed the beggar away. After he got into the administration building and Mother Teresa greeted him, she took him back to her office. And he said, before she was seated, he said, well, Mother Teresa, explain to me why you get all this money, and before I can make it into the building accosted by a beggar. How can you explain that? And she says, I'll explain it, but she says, before I do, I've got a question for you. God brought that beggar to you first. What did you do for him?
It's an honor, and it really is an opportunity for our community to be showcased on the strides it's made towards trust building between African Americans and the white community. And I think the police department has played an important role in seeing that occurred. But there were so many in the community that were supportive of the effort. It wouldn't have been successful without them, from elected officials to the college to the faith community and leaders in the African American community. So it was a result of a partnership that made this evening's showcasing of our work possible.
Following the dinner, the Anti-Defamation League gave a special recognition to the residents of the city of Charlottesville, Virginia, and their mayor, Mike Signer, following their resolve after the deadly August 12th alt-right rally that took place in their city.
After August 12th, I've been told many times that Charlottesville has now become a hashtag. So we know the name means something, but it means different things to different people. Some will see only the images of vile, racist horror, and they will not move beyond that. But others will see the grace and the kindness that emerged around the city and around the nation as the ultimate meaning of Charlottesville. I am here to ask you all to cast your lot with that latter path.
I asked the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, what this night was all about.
The ADL has been fighting hate for more than 100 years. And as part of that struggle, we conduct advocacy and try to change laws through the courts or through Congress. We educate millions of school children every year. We work directly with law enforcement to investigate hate crimes, to track them, and to help train police so they know how to deal with victims of hate. All too often, during the struggle, we don't take time to stop and catch our breath and recognize those individuals, those mavericks who fight for change in their communities. So our concert against hate here in Washington, D.C. is one of those moments in time where, as an organization, we collectively come together and convene the community to honor the contributions and to celebrate the leadership of individuals who, in their own way, have helped to change the world.
It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will.
In the nation's capital, Theodore Whitelow for Breaking Through.